Well, I've come down to an area at Hoveringham today by the railway pit, and just look what I've found. Well, what a beauty this is. This is, of course, a male Emperor Moth, the only member of the Saturniidae family that we have here in the UK, which is somewhat of a shame, really, but to have just one member of the Saturniidae is in a way quite good, because it makes you long for other moths of the same family, which you can buy, because most of them are all from much warmer climes than Hoveringham here. The Emperor Moth, which this is a male, is fairly common across the UK, but over 100 years ago in Nottinghamshire it pretty much died out, or did die out as far as we know, as far as records or lack of records tell us. And then 20-30 years ago some records started appearing in the south of the county, in the Trent Valley, a most unusual and unexpected place for records of this typically heathland and moorland moth to appear. There was no sign of it in the Sherwood Forest area, in the more typical habitat associated with such an area. But despite initial cries of people chucking these out of car windows and releasing them, which is complete nonsense if you ever did claim that, there's been a surprising increase in this moth, and it's steadily moved north or northeast up through the Trent Valley, and in Nottinghamshire it's probably found throughout the Trent Valley now. And then last year the odd records started turning up in the Sherwood Forest area. There was one at Sherwood Pines, I remember, and I think there was one at Clipston. They may well have been an additional record, but it showed that Emperor Moth had moved north and was now starting to colonise more typical heathland areas in the middle to north of Nottinghamshire. So this moth is bucking the trend of some species and is very much on the increase, and what a moth to have increase in your county. I presume it's doing the same thing in other counties, but it's now a very easy moth to see, and you can see it in daytime, and people, in order to do that, are using artificial pheromones to attract this beautiful male and attract the males. They tend to work anything within a couple of minutes to half an hour. It depends on the day. Today is quite a good day, it's starting to brighten up a little bit, but we don't need a pheromone lure today. And but I was successful in using pheromone lures last year, and that's how this little chap's arisen. But what a fabulous moth, absolutely beautiful, difficult to describe. The male is more colourful than the female. It's decorated, it's almost like a darker version of the female and a smaller version too, but whereas the female is generally palish grey in ground colour, this male and most others are a darker ground colour, a darker grey, but suffused with beautiful scales, plum coloured scales, quite beautiful. And then of course the two eye spots, they're obviously used as a deterrent against predators, to startle predators, and they even appear to have like eyelashes just above that almost golden circle in the eye spot. The ends of the wings there are said to represent a snake's head as well, and with a degree of imagination you can see where that comes from. But what a beautiful moth. I've been very fortunate to find this, and I dare say it won't stay here for very long. What a treat to pop back and see what I think is the efforts that I put in to help this moth along. I wanted to rear some, and I did. And then to come back down here and find this beautiful. It is one of our most spectacular moths that we have here in the UK. It's the male Emperor Moth. Fabulous, isn't it?